Hello, welcome to JavaScript tutorial, chapter 23, JavaScript Arguments Object, part 1, brought to you by Ankpro Technologies. My name is Harish. In this session, we are going to learn about JavaScript Argument Object. So, the JavaScript Arguments Object, it is a local variable available within all functions. An arguments object includes value of each parameter. The argument object is an array-like object, so you can access its values using index similar to an array. So without wasting much time, let me show you how an argument object looks. Here you can observe, here we have a function ShowMessage, and it takes two parameters, first name and last name. And here we have alert, and within that we have a string like hello. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to access the values of the parameters first name and last name with the help of argument index. So arguments of 0, it specifies the value of the first parameter, and arguments of 1, it specifies the value of second parameter. So without wasting much time, let me show you how do I work with argument objects. So let me jump into Visual Studio Code, and here is my script tag. So what I'll do right now is let me create a function first. The function name is show message, and let it take two parameters, first name last name. And apart from that, what we are going to do is this function is going to print that first name and last name parameter values. So let me call that first name, and let me add a gap, or let me provide a space by adding empty string, and its last name. So what I'll do, I'll call this function. The function name is show message. So here I'm going to pass the value for first one as Brandon, and the value is Brandon. So now let me push this page to the browser, and here is my HTML page. When I double click on that, it is navigating us to the Chrome browser, and here it just brings up a message telling like hello Brandon Eck. So this is hello Brandon Eck again. Yes. So what we are doing here is, to the alert function, I'm passing a string as well as the parameters. So instead of passing the parameters, so we can also achieve the same thing with the help of argument index. So argument of 0 is going to get the value of the first parameter, and next we are going to arguments of 1 is going to get the value of the second parameter, and the index always starts with the 0. So the first value of the first parameter is first name. So it's this argument of 0, it's going to access the value of the first parameter, and argument of 1 it's going to access the value of the second parameter. Now when I do Ctrl S, let me go back and let me refresh, and this still works fine. So this is the beauty of using the argument object. So argument object is an array-like object. You can access its values using index similar to an array. That's what we are accessing, the values of the respective parameters, or the arguments, with the help of index. The index starts with 0 based. And let me go back. The length property of the arguments object returns the number of arguments passed to the function. So if I need to verify like how many parameters or arguments are there in my function, so how do I do it? It's very simple. Let me tell like alert arguments dot length. This property is going to return the total number of arguments, total arguments passed to function. Control S. Let me go back and let me refresh the web page, and here we get hello Brandon Eck, and here the total arguments passed to the function is 2. So now let me check it out, like let me pass the age. So here again have to, that is arguments of 3, arguments of 2, it's going to access the value of the age property, age parameter, sorry. So Now what I need to do is I need to pass 10, sorry, it's 25 or 30. Let me go back and let me refresh. Allow Brendan 30, and here the total number of arguments passed to a function is 3. In the sense, the number of parameters we are passing to this function is 3. This is how you can check out the number of parameters with the help of arguments.length property. Okay, so let me go back, and that's the meaning of this sentence. Keep in mind, we can pass variable number of arguments to a JavaScript functions. All the parameters will be stored in the argument objects. So you can pass n number of parameters to these function, and all the count of that parameters will be stored in the arguments, okay, argument object. Fine. And if I need to check the number of parameters passed to the function, I can make use of this length property which is present in the argument object to check the total number of parameters passed to the function, or the arguments passed to the function. Okay, and arguments object is still valid. Okay, the argument object is still valid even if function does not include any parameters. So what do you mean by this? So what I'll do is I'll simply remove all these parameters. Now is this function going to execute? Yes, obviously it's going to execute. Why? Because this sentence gives the meaning of that. An arguments object is still valid even if the function does not include any parameters. So we don't have any parameters, but still with the help of argument object, and we are passing the index here, so with the help of this, when we pass parameters to this function, so ShowMessage, it's going to work very well. So let me go back and let me refresh. Here you get allow Brendan 30, and total number of arguments passed is 3. So explicitly, okay, what we are doing is we are not passing any parameters, but with the help of this argument object, okay, we are telling like collect all the parameters which I'm passing to the functions and just place it in the perfect index, okay, in the order. So that's the reason we are getting the output as allow Brendan and 30, okay, and the total number of arguments is 3 passed to the function. Okay, an argument object can be iterated using for loop. So what do you mean by this? So let me go back here. So what I'll do is I'll take a simple let me go with this simple example and let me explain you, okay, how it's going to work. So what I'll do is let me remove this, or let me keep this outside, paste it here. And what I'm trying to do is, okay, I'm going to take for loop for var I equals 0, and I'm going to tell like I less than arguments dot length, going to increment this I plus plus, sorry, it's I plus plus. Then I'm going to tell like alert. So instead of taking an alert, let me take a document dot write, such that it prints on the web page. So let me remove this part as of now. So let me add a break line such that it looks good. Instead of 0, I have to pass I. So let me remove this also. Okay. Now what I'm doing, I'm making use of for loop to iterate the argument. So let me go back and let me refresh the web page. The total number of arguments passed to function is 3, and here we are getting the values Brendan and 30. So what I do is I just made use of for loop. Okay, you can observe argument object can be iterated using the for loop, and that's what I'm doing. I'm iterating this argument object with the help of for loop, and here is the output we got it. Like first it is going to tell us like what is the total number of arguments passed. It's 3, and it's printing the name as well as first name and last name as well as age on the web page. So this is what the advantage of using the argument object, and that's what we learned in this session, and we also saw a beautiful message of it. Okay, and finally, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel Ankpro Training. You can also like our Facebook page visiting this URL. You can also follow us on Twitter. For further reference of our website, we are on LinkedIn too. Last but not the least, please don't forget to give the feedback. Thank you. Have a great day.